Arlene Foster, same-sex marriage has this week been backed by a majority of Northern Ireland Assembly members. Look at the result in this survey. A majority of people who responded to the survey here in Northern Ireland also support it, and the Democratic Unionist Party blocked a democratic vote.
We used the petition of concern, yes. Yeah.
A legal mechanism to block a democratic vote.
A mechanism that has been used by every single party represented around the table here tonight.
What is democratic about blocking that vote?
What's democratic about the petition of concern? Well, it was agreed in the Belfast Agreement, Stephen, as you well know, and has been used by all of the parties in different ways.
Let me ask the question a different way. Why didn't you let the majority in that vote have their way?
Because we have a mechanism to protect the institution of marriage, and therefore we use that mechanism.
The petition of concern you think was designed to protect the institution of marriage. It wasn't designed for issues where you wanted both sides of a community?
Well, it wasn't certainly instituted to stop Jerry Kelly, for example, from being censured by the Assembly, but yet the SDLP and Sinn Féin used it on that occasion. So it has been used right across.
But you're using what other political parties are doing for your lead, for your position. There was a vote in the Assembly,
yes,
a democratic vote. You didn't like it, so what do you tell to everybody in Northern Ireland that wants to believe in politicians, that wants to believe in the purity of a democracy? If we don't like the vote, we'll take something out of our back pocket and we will block it.
There's nothing back pocket about it, Stephen. It's a mechanism that was agreed
we'll take it out of
in the Belfast Agreement.
If we don't like the result of a vote,
we don't like the Belfast Agreement.
If we do not like the result of a vote, we'll block it.
No,
is that what the Democratic Unionist Party is?
Stephen, there's no point in getting excited about it. The reality is the petition of concern is there for all parties to make use of it, and if you don't like it, that's fine, but it is there for all of the parties to make use of.
Would you, Arlene, be comfortable with a member of your family marrying someone of the same sex?
Well, for a start off, we don't have marriage here, as you know, for people of the same sex in Northern Ireland.
Would you be comfortable?
If my daughter or son came home and said, "Mummy, I'm gay," would I love them any less? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. And if they said to me, I want to enter into a civil partnership, because we have civil partnerships here in Northern Ireland, which recognises, no, Stephen, you have to let me finish this point, because it is important.
It is.
I mean, there are many in Northern Ireland that think that we, in some way, denigrate or disparage people who are in same-sex relationships. That's wrong, because they are able to get involved in a civil partnership, which gives them that stability. And therefore, if my son or daughter came home and said, "Mum, I'm gay, and I want to enter into a civil partnership with somebody of the same sex," would I love them any less? No, I wouldn't.
That's not my question, so let me just put the question more directly. If your son or daughter moved to England, and if they were gay, and there's no suggestion they are or they're not, right? Hypothetical situation. But if your son or daughter moved to England and they were gay, would you attend their wedding?
No, well, I have to say, Stephen, I probably, if it was a civil partnership, yes, I would.
That's not the question.
But, because I believe...
Why do politicians keep on answering questions that I don't ask?
I didn't ask
that I do not ask.
I did not ask you a question.
So the question is this.
I'm answering the question.
The question
if it was
to be
a civil
specific,
partnership, yes, because I believe in the institution of marriage between a man and a woman,
Stephen.
You're doing it again. But you can't bully me into saying something I'm not going to say.
So let me say it really gently, so that I'm not accused of bullying. I have not introduced civil partnership at all in this discussion.
That's where it is.
And you have. If your son or daughter were getting married, a marriage in England, would you shun your daughter's marriage?
I wouldn't shun them.
Or would you go to a gay marriage?
I wouldn't shun them. Stephen, you cannot take away from the fact that I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman.
You're not going to answer the question, are you?
I am answering the question.
Is it a yes or no?
I am answering the question.
You would shun that marriage, or you would go?
No, it's not a question of shunning, Stephen.
Would you go?
And by the way, Stephen,
bringing this
down to my children.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not, I don't think, very appropriate.
Fair enough.
Because I think it's wrong.
Would you advise any member of your party or anybody that was a friend of yours or anybody in society, if there was an English marriage, if there was a gay marriage in England, to go?
That's a matter for everybody individually. Individually.
Okay. Would you attend their wedding?
No, well, I have to say, Stephen, I probably... No.